Welcome. It's another grizzling week, and I say grizzling because the conversations that we are spotting online, very interesting pointers you're sharing on there. People poking their noses into places that, of course, well deserved and well allowed. You thought I was going to say otherwise, right? No, you are allowed to make it all happen. Say it as it is. If you think otherwise about the categories and the nominations, feel free, air your pointers and your thoughts. But let's make sure we maintain some decorum. I keep saying, right? And most importantly, the votes is what will define everything. Welcome to another session. Great day as we delve deeper into the categories and the nominees, I beg your pardon, for the 3Music Awards 24. This is a Diaries. Don't go away. Welcome back again. Well, it's a great day for us to jump into the conversations. And so far in the past couple of weeks, it has been very intense with various guests coming in and, of course, showing their, giving their perceptions and their reviews and their opinions to most of the matters that have been raised here with regards to the 3Music Awards nominations and the categories. Well, it's normal. So today, we are zooming in hard on three categories that I know will spark also a lot of controversy, and the conversations are very, very tough. I'll tell you about it in a bit, but let me welcome my two guests, OB Nartey and the man CReal, joining me here. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Very well. Very well.
I can see very well is the best.
Very well for CReal.
Oh, we're all very well present.
Very well present. It's been a smooth run. We are inching closer to the big day. But generally, what are your expectations on people's how do we say, people's opinions on some of the winners that will come out? This is stemmed out of the list that we've populated so far on the nominations and the categories. And you both have been in there, and that's the reason why you are here, because Artist of the Year is the top of the food. It's on the top of the food chain. Yes. What do you think? People are going to be happy with what they would get, or...
I think people are going to be surprised because...
Thank you for that word. Let me cut you right there. Surprise. Let's hold him to this word. Surprised.
People are going to be surprised because after the year in review, a lot has happened with a bunch of other artists. So currently on top of people's mind is a different list from the actual list that's being reviewed. So that discrepancy is what's going to shock people. We are looking at the year 2023 in review, but we're in the middle of the year 2024, and people have had a good 8 months to interact with a host of other artists who they think are doing great. So I just want people not to come to the award expecting that what you've experienced in the last 8 months is what we are talking about. It's two different conversations.
Okay.
So the surprise I'm talking about there is that people are going to go, but if you look at it critically, you're going to realize that for the year under review, those who deserved it.
Obi, have the artists who were possibly listed in the Artist of the Year, which will play the nominees very soon, do you think their strategy or music or anything has changed that should alter or people's minds about like what CReal is saying? Maybe a shocker, or people shouldn't be shocked when they hear that their favorite artist didn't win. And I know his favorite artist
is in there. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that the surprise element is one of the factors that people should watch out for. However, this scheme is premised on hard work and consistency, and making sure that you're on top of your game. You've been on top of your game under the year and the review. So any product that is coming from your camp, if it's scrutinized, if it's shortlisted, you should be able to make headways, or you should be a winner.
Obi, I like what you just said. Now, what do we, by what merit are we using to justify an artist's hard work? We haven't even gotten into the nominations yet, but the conversation is so interesting. Yeah. By what merit? Is it engagements outside the borders of Ghana that define that should define an artist's merits, or even within the shores of the country? And if it's within the shores of the country, which artists, even before I mention names, we look at the category, which artists then by by this merit or standards we are using, then should have been qualified into Artist of the Year.
So beautiful.
Yes.
Good question. Now, for every artist,
Yeah.
you should know that where we are in this part of the world currently is beyond your shores. Because we're going to use certain parameters that goes
Am
global.
I seeing the winner already then?
No, that goes global. And so, and so obviously, your activities beyond your locality or where you are would influence the mileage and the popularity or the works
Within
that
the
you're
year
doing.
under review.
Within the year under review. So obviously, it will not necessarily be as though you have to move out of your environment to go and work, but your work within your environment would precipitate a lot of engagements beyond the boundaries, and that is going to put you on top of the game. And so you don't sit down and expect that you'll be in one corner and not do anything. You would ignore the parameters, say the new media and engagement. You leave them out and expect to be a winner. No, your other engagements would definitely plug you in for you to be on top of the game. So I believe that whether it's international, whether it is local, they play side by side, and one should influence one for you to be able to pick it up to the top.
Well, Artist of the Year, even before I allow you to talk, Artist of the Year, the most outstanding and dominant artist on the basis of popularity of his or her or their recordings and activities within the year under review, including performances and social engagement with at least one video release of any of their recordings, okay? And now this is voted by the board, academy, or public. They did not say outside performances. However, for those of you who are yet to find out which artists are in the Artist of the Year category, here are the nominations. Check it out.
And the nominees for the 3Music Awards 2024 Artist of the Year: Black Sheriff, King Promise, Kwame Eugene, Medical, Mr. Drew, Nasi, Sarkodie, Stone Boy,
Baby, never listen to what them say. Naga, naga, leave you, girl. Send me out.
Well, for me, I'm already in 28th of September, and I can see this nominees being played on the screen and people screaming when it gets to certain names. But we're going to drill down because also there are conversations about other names that should have been in this list and some names in here that possibly should have been taken off. I've seen those conversations in certain quarters. So I'm presenting that to my my pundits today on the show. Are you okay with the list you've just seen?
Yes.
Yes.
I am okay, and I'm in agreement with the list. I mean, like you said, being a board member of the awards, there was a lot of names. The pool from which this list was generated was a very vast pool. But I think those who made it to this final list are deserving in the criteria that define what we are looking for in the Artist of the Year. So in a way, everybody on this list is a winner of sorts because
But
they've
they are
met
winners
the
over
crowd.
winners.
Yes, but they are winners over winners. Even God is Lord of Lords. Means they are lords, but
There's a lot of
there's a lot of lords. So these are all artists within that year who have done phenomenally well. But even out of these artists that have done phenomenally well, one did most phenomenally well.
We'll come to that name. We'll find. We'll fish that name out for you.
Yeah, on the 28th.
On the 28th. Are you okay with the list, Owi?
Well, Jay, let me just acknowledge all the channels that these lists or these nominees have gone through.
Okay.
From the research department into the shortlisting department, getting on the board for regular, rigorous, rigid
testing, Charlie.
rigid procedure.
Yes.
For people to come up and say, you deserve to be part of the 8. That is enough work alone to say that we are acknowledging hard work and people who have done the work beyond a certain capacity. I agree with him. Anybody in that list or in any of the categories is a winner because to get into that 8, myself and Cyril sitting here, we've had a lot of headbutts. People have agreed and disagreed on reasons, and these things are not just by word of mouth, but backed by science and data.
Okay.
And so you need some science and data to be in there.
We do agree. Let me
Yes.
cut you. We do agree
Yes.
that, and I'm starting with my first punch on the
Good.
category.
Good.
So there's Black Sheriff, King Promise, Eugene, Medical, Mr. Drew, Nasi, Sarkodie, and Stoneboy. A very male biased list. And we, the industry, always speak about the unfairness and the more work that women have to put in to get there. I don't see females represented in this list. What is your take on this?
Well, thank you.
And there's Wendy Shea. I was coming to that.
Yes, thank you. Well,
Phenomenal year 2023.
I've always said this.
Yeah.
When it comes to such schemes or a scheme where we're looking for competence, we have to relegate the gender conversation because it is premised on hard work. Whether you're a male or female, you need to work hard.
Yeah, but the NDC will be releasing the Women's Bank. As we mentioned, it's out there, the policies. So gender is a part of everything, even including governance.
I agree. But are you saying you would choose an incompetent male when there is a competent female? Would you do that?
Would I choose an incompetent
Competent
male
when there is a competent female because he's a male?
For the purposes of gender equality, I'm asking the question with
No,
regards
I want to also get your view.
do we understand? Did we understand the fact that we accept as industry gatekeepers, pundits, contributors that it takes 10 times more effort for the women to be able to reach the certain stages and the levels that the male easily get the access to for various reasons. So I'm trying to understand why 2023 couldn't host a female.
So Jay, would it be because there was no work or it was deliberate to have taken them out?
No, there's work. I mean, would you say when the Shay's work shouldn't?
So then we have to subject it to the parameters.
Okay. Yes.
Whether it is Wendy Shay or it is Beyonce or it is whoever, it has to be subjected to the parameters.
Yes.
Once it makes it, none of us on the board will say she doesn't deserve to be there.
I'm pushing this because you were part of the board.
What Obi is saying is that.
Yes.
Gender was not a defining parameter for this list. For the industry, gender is a parameter that we look at. Because when we go out there, whether it's bookings, whether it's airplay, whether it's show performances, gender is a parameter that makes each moment unique. Okay? It takes 10 CDs to book a guy. It might take 8 CDs to book a woman. A guy might get 2 hours of airplay, a woman will get 1 hour. Those are parameters on the larger industry that nobody can control. It will take time for that general mind shift to equalize.
Then we should make the parameters wide enough.
Yes, so you are saying we should make an accommodation for the disadvantage that female artists have suffered within the industry. So we should bring a woman on board.
The level of hard
so when
work,
we are looking at women,
so the level of hard work of a woman at that point in time
not the same as
that of a man.
Fair enough. So, that's why we have women categories.
No,
how many do we have?
This is the yes.
On this scheme,
yes,
we've had women feature as artists of the year.
Yes, but not in this one.
No, yes,
so it was a bad year for women.
So I cited.
my brother.
Yes.
It was a bad year for our sisters.
Yeah.
We have women of the year. We have women of the year.
Yes, we have that category.
That is also of the year, which means that we have accommodated that discrepancy and that disadvantage. And we have decided to create a whole category
for women, just
for women, so that there's an equalization of effort and output.
There's not an equalization, I'm asking, because when you look at the biggest award of the night, the focus is on the MVP, which is the most valuable player. Yes, and which is the artist of the year. And I'm saying that. Did we not recognize the works of an artist like Wendy Shay? And I'm giving an example of a Jackie within the year of under review. Because by the parameters being mentioned here, they played their international shows, and I make mention of international shows. They had videos which was out there. The videos went viral. So isn't there enough? Because we're going to now go through the list and make a comparison of some of these names to some of the male names in here and see that true who really worked hard and who deserved to be here. So can I start with the names?
Yes. The names for
let's run through the male names here.
Exactly what I was coming to say.
Okay.
I was coming to ask you that you brought up Wendy Shay's name, right?
Yeah. As an example. I've been paid. I'm going to do my
job. So fine. So let's pick the name.
Send them home.
Jay, let's pick the name Wendy Shay.
Yeah.
Put her at number 2 on the list. Let's say you are doing your list, put it at number 2. We should fit in there.
So we have 8 nominees.
Good.
So let's go. So let's add her to be 9.
9.
Okay.
Yes.
Or let's make it 10 in total.
Yes.
So there is Black Sheriff.
Okay.
I'll mix the names nicely. We've already seen the nominations, right? I'll mix it nicely.
So here's what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Let's run through the list and let's put Wendy Shay as a constant comparison. So Black Sheriff,
Wendy Shay.
Okay. Kim Promise.
Wendy Shay.
No.
So no. So the answer is no. That spot that Black Sheriff has.
Yes.
Can Wendy be in that spot?
Yes.
The answer is no. You said Kim Promise. The answer is no.
Enabled by Black was enabled by a record label.
It doesn't matter.
That's no. So it goes back to the parameters I was asking you.
If we are running 100 meters,
okay, all right, sure.
And I'm sponsored by Mike, you cannot fault me for being sponsored by Mike.
No problem. Let's continue.
Yes.
So let's put
two
in
lows so far.
No, hold on. Let's put in Wendy and Rent-Free, Jackie. These 2 ladies.
Yes.
Okay. So there's Blacko.
Good.
And then so we test both Wendy and.
So Blacko and Jackie.
No.
Yeah. Jackie, I'm asking.
No, but we're all here. We're all in the industry. So you know.
So you mean to say the height of Blacko's achievement
surpasses Wendy and Jackie.
You see, Jay, so that it doesn't look as if it's a pick on.
Yes.
We're dealing with products and works.
This would be a very
yes,
this is a very interesting.
Yes, we're dealing with products and works.
Yeah.
So that it's not as though we are picking your song because you're a female or we are picking your song because you're a male. We're picking the song because it has satisfied all the parameters that needs to be satisfied.
But you dance to Habibi.
Yes, that's one vote. Have
you seen the video?
If you have said,
I wish I could play that video for.
I know it's Nigerian, but forgive me. If you have said I a Star and Blacko, tough one. If you have said I a Star and Kim Promise, tougher one. You are mentioning Jackie and Wendy, and we are telling you that based on the parameters that we used to categorize
let's continue. It's very interesting. Let's go to
Yes.
Kim Promise. Now, ladies, I'm fighting for what is yours. So, Kim Promise.
No.
To Jackie and to
Or
Wendy.
to Wendy.
No.
So, okay. So
To Jackie, to Wendy, to Eno. Let's name them.
Okay.
No.
So we saw the classic hit Terminator, and then we felt the global effect this year.
Absolutely.
So it is not within the year of review. Agreed.
Yes.
So the song was big in 2023. The ripple effect is being felt
Yes,
maybe
this year. Yes.
So we'll speak to last year.
Yes.
So
but you already said the song was big in 2023.
but
that's what I'm saying. So was Rent-Free. It was big.
It was not as big as
Are
Terminator.
you putting the?
But the ripple effect being felt this year is the same as when.
Are people still singing Red Free?
Oh yeah, it's a big song.
No, so you see, Jay, what you say is a big song. Now you're using English.
Yeah.
But on the board, we don't use English.
Yeah.
We use statistics.
No problem. Let's continue. So Kwame Eugene,
No.
Wendy, and Jackie.
Monica. Monica.
Rent-Free.
No.
Hello, Monica.
Brother, you dance.
Can you come over?
Brother, you dance to Habibi. He's denying.
I dance. I told you that I'm a Wendy Shay fan.
I wish I could play Habibi, a bit of Habibi for people to see.
See, like, I'm a Wendy Shay fan. Yeah. So I dance to Habibi. Personally. My dancing to Habibi is not a determination around anything. I beg you.
Medical.
Yes.
The concert was this year. Was in the UK. Was this year. It wasn't last year. Planning and Plotting equally released end of year activation. So did what's her name? Wendy. Pull Up. I think I've forgotten what the West Hills Mall was. It last year or last 2 years? Can't remember. But
Christmas.
So Medical. Wendy Shay, Jackie, Medical.
No. Still.
I'm surprised Jay is asking this.
I'm asking the question.
No, but Jay.
Yeah.
But for you,
Yeah.
look at Planning and Plotting.
Yes.
The kind of attention.
You were there at Pentel Week.
Yes.
Yes.
You were there at Pentel Week. You saw how Jackie performed and how the reaction and the reception.
Yes.
A song
And
that
I've also seen Wendy perform.
Yes. Yes.
And
Equal.
you see Medical too.
I've seen Medical too.
Yes. And?
And what's your question?
And you don't think, yes, so I'm asking that.
He's still doing the comparison.
Yeah, the comparison.
And I'm saying no, still Medical.
No, so Jay,
Yeah.
so I think that for us on the board,
Yeah.
we look at the figures. So say if we're talking about your effect on social media, we'd have to go and look
On
at
the
numbers.
streets.
Well,
the numbers.
if so,
So I'm coming. We'd have to go and check the airplays. We'd have to go and check the activations, the events that you've done,
Yeah.
the activities that is giving your song that weight.
So for example, let's go to the
Yes.
next person. There is Mr. Drew. Social engagements. I do recall that Jackie managed to pull off with rent-free, even having to pay somebody's people's rent for them. You know, solid activation online, send the song viral, but she's not here.
Yeah, that was one
of the songs that Mr. Drew has used to work hard to get into various categories is Case, a remix featuring Mufti. So is rent-free.
Yes. But the point being that the impact
the
point is that.
But you agree she should have been here?
No, I don't think she should have been here because the board, that would suggest that the board was not circumspect in its duty.
I'm just,
so I'm also answering as the board, that the board has been circumspect and detailed in its delivery of this list. And no matter how much it looks like somebody belongs there on the face value as a fan, like Obi said,
the most outstanding, I beg your pardon, and dominant artist.
Yes,
she qualifies on the basis of popularity, qualification, recordings, qualification, activities, qualification, another year of review, including performances, qualification, social engagements, qualification, with at least a video, qualification.
So I ask,
let's look at this, right?
Yes.
A Jackie performance,
and
a Mr. Drew performance. What would you say surpasses the other?
A Jackie performance and a Mr. Drew performance.
A Mr. Drew, who is an avid dancer, a vocalist, a crowd engager.
So are we saying the dancer?
No, we are saying you mentioned performance.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that a lot of us have seen performances. And if you were to put a Jackie performance and a Mr. Drew performance, and you're looking at the elements of
up until the TGMAs recently, I hadn't witnessed such a classic Mr. Drew performance. So it still It still boils down back to silly concerts and
we on the board have been watching.
Okay, no problem. Nasi, well, yes, there are two different. I wouldn't even want to. Sarkodie, quite obvious that he's had experience. So I'll put it that way. And the same with Stoneboy.
No, but Jay, let me put you to a test.
Okay, put me to the
test.
Now,
pick Wendy Shay.
Yeah.
And take one of the artists out.
Yes, let's see.
Well, so when we come back,
no break.
When we come back, okay, no, we're saying.
To answer this question.
Say it again.
So we are giving you the imaginary. I would put 4Music Awards 24.
Yeah.
For the 4Music Awards list, Wendy Shay is here.
Yes.
Remove somebody.
Remove Jackie.
And Jackie. So do your list.
So let's take two out.
So
brother.
So for me, it's fine. So for me, but we'll be going to break short. But for me, if I look at the work that Wendy, Jackie have put in, I would pair them. I'll pair them with either a Drew. No. So I'm just saying.
The list is finite.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying. I'm answering it.
So take people out.
Yeah, I'm taking it out. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That when I say I'll pair, in reference to, I'll juxtapose their works, yes, to the level, and then I'm left with the choice of now making a feminine impact on the most. I'm answering, so I'm mentioning the name. A feminine impact on the. I'm the host now. I'm explaining. A feminine impact in the category. So I'll work around the medical Drew. No, I'm saying I'll work around a medical and a Drew. That is for me. On that note, we'll be right back. Your comments are also welcome on the page, but don't forget, all this is just conversations until you vote, and that's what counts. It's *447 *3 hash. Sorry. We'll be right back. That's how heated it gets on the show. So my guest's still here. The conversations are wild. If you wanted your artist in there, of course, the artist has to work hard and qualify in there. However, like we said, every name listed here already has qualified to be in there and it's already a winner. And that's what's most important. So we're moving away from our artist of the year. No, in fact, I'm going to move away too quickly. Let me just now, let's run through the ones we feel, we know they're all winners, but of course some have worked harder than others. It still allows them to qualify by the barest minimum. But on the list here, which are top 3 that we should look out for, not necessarily as winners, but we should look out for to be able to hold this category?
Promise. Stone.
Are we seeing another Stone Promise?
I think because it's based on merit and it's based on impact, those two have had an undeniable 2023. So it's always going to be them. If there's an award scheme besides this, or besides the TGMA, or besides any other award scheme that is really serious about this song, these two would be your ultimate battle, because they've done the work almost a par. But that's where the board, the academy, and of course the votes come in to differentiate who takes number 1 and who takes number 2. But for me, the third spot could easily go to anybody, because I feel like the third spot is open for the wild card. If you look at the year under review, Medical, SAC, they are almost at par. I would put up Mr. Drew maybe a little bit beneath that.
Because we didn't identify a lot of
impactful moments for him during the year. But those that are undeniably impactful were Promise, were Stone, and then the third spot I'd probably give to either a Medical or a SAC.
Well, SAC was also on a tour, in the US. He did a lot of shows, his own shows, non-comparable. And another point I want to come to, non-comparable to shows. We hardly heard Stonebwoy organize his own shows outside the borders of this country. It was shows that were already happening that he was headline or, so I'm surprised you don't have a SAC in there as one of the main competitors. But, there's a bit of uncertainty.
The reason why I'd put a Stone above a SAC is because Stone performs on Afrobeats platforms, pop platforms, world music platforms, reggae, raga, dancehall platforms as well. So there's that cross-genre vibe that Stone is able to do. But Sarkodie is limited in a way to his core, genre space, where the same applies to King Promise, that it has to be an Afrobeats or an Afro-pop space. I'm not expecting to see a King Promise at Reggae Fest or other things, but you can see Stone in the DMV, Party in the Park, and then our Reggae Fest. And then he's in Japan doing something, and then he's in Australia doing something. So that brings the international and the cross-genre vibe to it. So
your top 3.
I agree with that contribution.
Very strong point.
You go like go to break. You go like go break.
No. We continue.
So my top 3, obviously, I think that for any serious scheme, you would not neglect or overlook the works of Stonebwoy. You will not overlook the work of King Promise.
Absolutely.
And for me, my bias will give me a Nasi. Not just the bias, but Nasi.
Yes, he forgot.
Nasi has did
Christ-like.
Nasi did extremely well.
Yeah.
The year under review, extremely well. Looking at the activations, his numbers on social media was very good. So for me, my top 3, Nasi, Stonebwoy, and then King Promise.
Well, not too far from each other. Yes, it will be a tough list. Well, yes, for Sarkodie, I mean, he still cements his name with or without an award. It's there, anytime we spot his name in a category, it's a fine line between competitor and non-competitor. And I think I agree with what you're saying.
I think he's a legacy artist. If Sark does 2 things in a year, he will still have that big boy status. Even if he does 1 thing in 12 months, he'll still have that big boy status, because he's been at the top for a minute. That he's home.
But his inclusion in this is worth celebrating.
Yes, that he's still consistent.
Exactly the point.
He's still
Look at
working
how
hard enough.
consistent he's been.
Yes.
So
I always like to wrap up by asking this question: who will be the shocker win for you if you just saw that the person won? Either maybe amassed votes by public, and then
For me, Nasi.
Okay.
Because he has enough merit to win it, but it would also mean that his fan base is active enough to push to change the narrative. Because for a long time, Artist of the Year has been a secular-based, turnaround. The moment we're done mentioning, it's usually 9 times out of 10 is secular. Yeah. But if his fan base are focused enough and really want to change the narrative, he has the work merit that with the right voting structure and the right backing, that he could be our wild card.
Will you be surprised if Medical picked it up?
Yes.
as well? Oh,
Well, the surprise, well, for me, I see surprise a bit different in this conversation because we shouldn't forget that this category is meant for the board, the academy, and voters. Any of these groups can determine who wins. So if you're an artist and you think maybe you've done work and people are saying, oh, maybe let's say I pick a name like Stonebwoy King Promise, and he feels that, oh, well, my Juma. But why Juma? No, don't forget there is a certain category of people who are the public voters who can vote to the extent that it can change the verdict. So that is where the surprise will come from.
So a win in the public vote and a win in the academy
May not be the same thing.
It will set you.
Yes, as an artist, you should be interested in these things because it's not as though it's a straight jacket thing because your name is in there. You've won. No, there are people who will determine this, and you don't have to overlook it. Nasi can win because maybe the gospel industry says, no, Nasi missed out on TGM. This time around, we're going to vote hard for Nasi and make it happen. And that could be a game changer for anybody. So you don't feel you are in the list, so you think maybe you won. There are people who can determine or change the game at this point in time.
Well, so the list of nominees within the Best Male Vocalist of the Year. Very interesting list as well. I can't wait to hear your opinions on this. So we have Ara the J. He made it in there with My Baby. We have AEC, that's Dangerous. Very dangerous guy. Camido, Brown Skin Girl. Josh Black with Hanky Panky. Kiddy with I Lied, Che Mensa with GDA, Luigi McLean also in them with Mile. Yes, crazy song. It even gets worse with Perez Music, Don't Cry, that's Carfo, and then Kofi Kakari as well, You're Great, that's on gospel. Okay, so this is the list we have here. Best male vocal performance. Let's look at it with a technical eye with regards to the song. Well, I'll help you out. So with the definition here, it's you put me on the spot though, but let me just quickly make reference to it. So it says here, the most outstanding and superior vocal performance by a male act on a song released under the year of review. Yeah. Now, the list is crazy. Honestly, I don't know how you're going to do this, but I'm wishing you all the best. I see a strong contention between gospel, and then the secular space. And we know for a fact that when it comes to gospel music, voice
taking the lead.
Yes, they always pick it up with the voice. Will that be the case here? Looking at the list of gospel artists in here, we have Kofi Kakari, we have Perez, we have Luigi McLean as well in there.
Yeah, Jay, let me also acknowledge that I'm excited about this list. Over the years...
Reggae dancehall didn't make it, by the way.
We are fine.
Reggae dancehall is not in the list. I can go to the list again. We have RDJ, AEC, Camido, Josh Black, yes.
Luigi.
Che Mensa is also here, but no dancehall artists.
Or they are busy with the future.
You get vision.
Right.
And there's no hip hop artists here.
No problem.
So Jay, like I was saying, very excited about it. The fact that over the years, most of these award schemes, we're now seeing the gospel artists taking their rightful place. Because when it comes to performance, live performance, it's more of a gospel thing.
Yes.
We should be dominating this space. But this time around, I want to be a little quiet on it because I've seen some good vocals in there as well. As much as I want to see Che, Luigi, Perez, and Kofi Kakari win, I think that it will not be a ride in the park.
What about the competition amongst the gospel artists that have been listed in there? Who probably gets
a win for any of them is a win for the gospel. That's it. Looking at the strength of, I think Che has been very consistent in there. Kofi Kakari has been. Perez has been consistent. Come on.
Yeah.
No,
I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult, but let's
I would even lean towards the gospel fraternity on this. I mean, which is atypical for me, but I think, like you said, when it comes to the actual vocal command and actual talent of using the vocals, the gospel fraternity is eons above and beyond. And there's a whole list of contemporary or secular artists who will tell you that I started in the church and started in the church.
Yes,
and then in the
yes.
church. So to give that, to doff my hat to that, I would say in this list, the best technical prowess are all on the gospel side. That's not to look down on Kiddy or AEC or R.R.the.J. or anybody else.
No, but can we make a comparison, a very honest comparison with the gospel artists and their vocal performance over that of because listed here is a lot of Afrobeats with the second of AEC, maybe an R.R.the.J.
And AEC on that song was very strong.
Very strong as well, extremely.
For secular music, right? Your vocal...
It doesn't test you enough?
Yes. Your vocal prowess
I like his honesty today.
part of the ingredients to making the song. Manipulation and digitization of your voice is normal. Yeah. That's why we see the things like auto-tune and vocoders and all these things easily used in secular music. But when it comes to gospel music, your ability to use your raw emotional talent to engage people and move people is the ministry of music. Yeah. So
and that's an added advantage.
And that's an added advantage because you are singing to touch souls. You are singing to move people to tears. You are singing to move people to contemplate. You understand, which is not something that you see in the secular space. So to be very honest, when it comes to the vocal, my secular brothers need to really be praying because my gospel brothers came out swinging,
very strong,
and each one of those, from Luigi to Perez to
Chambers,
everybody there is worth their salt.
Okay, this one I won't fight you too much because I think I agree to it. But wait till, if we're talking gospel, then how about we play the nominees for the Gospel Act of the Year?
And the nominees for the 3Music Awards 2024 Gospel Act of the Year. The nominees are Dinah Hamilton, Joe Mettle, Joyce Blessing, Mabel Ochery, Nasi, Perez Music, Scott Evans, PACA Esther.
Well, may the Holy Spirit touch you before you go ahead and drop this vote, because this is going to be a very difficult one. You have to look deep into yourself before you're able to do this one. This is almost as difficult to discuss as the Artist of the Year, if you ask me. It's very, very, very difficult, and that's why we need to look into this, with a certain non-biased, purely on merit. Yes.
I don't think it's difficult.
Okay, let's try this, because you have a Dinah Hamilton in there, you have a Joe Mettle in there. These are the Sarko Dias and Stone Boys and Saminis, of when it comes to gospel industry music, and I don't know how you're going to do this, but what should we look out for in determining a winner for this very difficult category?
For me, consistency. They have every other attribute shared amongst them, but the one who stays...
And backing by a church.
Yes, and backing by a church. So, every other criteria, they all tick those boxes. But the one who is able to ascertain their dominance through consistency is the one that will reflect as the winner. Because if we are equal, it's about how far you are ready to go.
So Obi, on that note then, by what merit should we use to, any voter use to determine, aside from being, I have interest in this artist, I like the music, by what merit should we look at for Gospel Act of the Year? I'll try and pull out the category description here. Says the most outstanding and dominant gospel act on the basis of popularity. Yes.
And you can't be dominant without consistency.
It's the same thing with regards to the Artist of the Year. Like
so
I'm
it's
saying,
basically Artist of the Year for,
for gospel.
Jay, for me, I'll go back to the conversation that anyone who finds himself in there,
it's already
is a winner.
Yeah,
because it will be difficult for us to sit here and say A will win, B will win, because it took a lot of considerations to put this list together. Now, the game changer for 3Music Awards, and I'm trying to draw everybody's attention to it, that the voters, the academy, and the board, but even not the board, but the voters can always change the game.
Scott Evans, Your honest opinion
His
about
voters
his
can change the game.
Yes, I agree. His voters can change the
Yes.
game. But Scott Evans here,
Yes.
and his chances of winning this are not necessarily hinged on the voters. In comparison with people who also have been there, swept various awards.
Let me celebrate that young gentleman.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what we call the urban gospel within that space, it started from a certain point. At a point, it looked as if it was dying.
Yeah.
But he's coming in.
Yeah.
He's coming very strong.
And he's been consistent.
And he's been consistent with raising a certain
lot of people
standards.
are coming.
Okay, so within his yes. Okay.
Look at the kind of videos he's bringing out.
Yeah, quality.
Look at the kind of investment he's putting in there.
Yeah.
His activations. I think he understands the game from a certain point of view, which is giving him this number of attention. And so for me, he deserves to be there and can even pull a surprise there.
Yeah, I was going to ask for that surprise. And does he have any competition in there with the lane that he finds himself in? With that urban gospel space, because we have PSC, Esther, Perez, Music, Nasi, Mabel, Joyce,
Everybody else you've
Joe,
mentioned is
Metal,
traditional.
and then Dinah.
Everybody else you've mentioned
Very
is
traditional.
very traditional.
And pay attention to the other years that have passed. He's always in there.
Yeah. Which is consistency.
He's
So he
always
might
in
not be
there.
winning year on year, but his foot has been on the gas. And this might be the year he overtakes him.
From what I would call a very disadvantaged area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of
Because
the gospel industry.
urban gospel is not just Scott.
Yes.
A lot of people
Yes.
tried urban gospel.
There are people in there who are pushing hard.
Who are still
the
pushing,
Commissars are pushing in there. The
Yeah.
Bella
The King's
360,
Kid, all that.
All these guys are in there. They are pushing very hard. But you see, we're not getting very used to them.
Okay.
Because that's not the normal. Now they've been able to now give themselves into the space and say, here we are. You accept us or you don't have anything else.
Okay.
And that is where they are getting this high attention from. And for me, it's something worth celebrating because if not for these
So
movements, we wouldn't have seen them.
I agree with you. And Nasi's music or Joe Metal's music may not necessarily be urban gospel, but have they not won the hearts of urban gospel lovers as well? And wouldn't that be a major competitor to Scott if he even is to pull off a surprise?
I think that's the same comparison to traditional Afrobeats as we know it and Afrobeats as it is now. I think there are still two different audiences. Those who want to listen to your Nasi, your Esther and all that, they are totally different from those who want to listen to Scott Sam. Not to say there's anything wrong with it.
Scott
but I think-
Evans, you
Scott Sam. Scott Evans. I think it's just about preference and about styling of the music. Scott Evans' music is up-tempo, it's energetic, it's more pop than traditionally known for gospel. And there's a lot of people who take their gospel music, quote unquote, very seriously.
Okay.
As a reflective, so sombering, uplifting, and fellowship.
Okay.
Then there's those who take it as empowerment. So there's fellowship and there's empowerment. Scott is on the empowerment side. Let's go. Like, God is with me.
I do agree,
Who can
yes,
stop
with
me?
the others
Let's go
being-
get it. Then there's
Yeah.
others. Oh God, thank you for saving me.
So
It's two different schools of thought.
I'm sorry, I'm being cut off, but then real quickly, so give me your top three that's, okay.
I just add this to it.
Add this to it.
So for a Scott,
Yeah.
we're here and we're in a very digital space. Now we're talking about Gen Zs. Now that's why I'm bringing in the voters.
Yeah.
These same people go and look for Scott's song online, Apple Music and what have you, and they listen to it. And it is giving him the numbers. The same numbers can go and vote for him to pull the surprise.
Absolutely.
Surprise. So anyway, thank you very much. The surprise just might even land on Scott. However, to make that surprise happen, a *447*3#. Go on there and vote ASAP on your devices. Just dial it in and let's make the game change. Well, it's been Jay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and we'll catch you on another episode here of the Diaries.